Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace. Today is a day that I don't know. I've forgotten the date and I did not check beforehand, so we're gonna look now. Today is November 10th, Friday, November 10th. This is a podcast about knitting and books and reading and spinning and dyeing and baking and cats and lots of random things that I find very interesting and I would like to share with you guys because I think they're fun. So if that sounds interesting to you, this is definitely the podcast for you. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for sticking with me through all the randomness and the break that I took last week. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I really appreciate it. Like always, all the various things that I talk about will be in the show notes. If you're on YouTube, that'll be linked down below to my blog where everything is, or if you're on my blog, they're just down below. There's all my various social medias. There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram by far, and yes. There's also a Ravelry podcast group. If you go to Ravelry and click on the groups tab and search the Catnip Podcast, we will pop up. I am terrible at posting in it, but if you'd like to go and join it, it is there for you to join if you'd like. And then there's also a store online where you can buy some yarn that I've hand dyed, and that is the catnipyarn.bigcartel.com, and both those things will be linked down below as well. So don't worry, they will be linked there. You can find them very easily. So no worries. I was gone last week. I did take a break and I do apologize for that if you were expecting an episode. It just didn't work out, so I didn't worry about it, and it was nice to take a little week off. So here I am this week. I have a lot to chat about. You may have noticed a big change about me, meaning the bangs. So that's kind of fun. I have bangs now, but we'll talk about that later. So yes, today I have a Starbucks drink today. I think I said today twice. I'm very scattered today, so excuse me if I am seemingly very scattered. I do have a Christmas drink in their Christmas cup of the year, which I do love. My personal favorite Christmas drink, Starbucks Christmas drink, is the creme brulee latte. That is my favorite. So yes, if you haven't tried one, I highly recommend it. It is very sweet, but it's not overly sweet, in my opinion. But I like sweet coffee, so that's just my personal preference, so anyway. So now that we've gone over my bangs, me being gone, and what I'm drinking, if you would like to go grab something tasty of your own to either drink or eat or do or whatever, you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So I was gone last week. We have covered that. But again, thank you so much for sticking with me and just being patient. Traveling, it just didn't work out, and yes, it was a good trip. It was nice to take a little break. And yeah, so that's good. I have notification, I do apologize. While we were gone, I did in fact get bangs, which is just super fun. I wanted a change. Yes, my hair's up. I didn't chop it all off again. It's a little bit shorter, but just because it needed to trim. So my hair's still the same length because I'm growing it out, but I now have bangs, and like, aren't they just so adorable? I love them. I was wanting something new. I wanted to change my hair, so bangs it was. Bangs it is. Bangs it will be. Until the foreseeable future. So that's exciting. I've done bangs like this multiple times in my lifetime. And I love them every single time I do. Growing them out is always a process, but that's okay. I mean, it's definitely not as bad as growing out a pixie cut, having done that as well. Growing out your bangs like this is not nearly as painful as growing out a pixie cut, so it is definitely doable. Plus, I just like the look with like glasses and bangs and the nice cat eye and just niceness and maybe a statement lip. Fun stuff. So that's irrelevant. That is not normally usual content on this podcast. I don't do that kind of thing normally. I can, but I just don't normally. So whatever. Also, something else that is a little bit abnormal, you might be wondering what in the world is on your shirt. Yes, I'm wearing a little bit more casual shirt than I normally do for the podcast, but it's a special shirt. It is a very special shirt. So if you didn't know, or if you are new to the podcast, I am from Houston. My parents live in Houston, and so for the World Series, the baseball world, is there any other type of World Series? I don't know. It was baseball, if you didn't know. My sports knowledge about this is very, very low, and now that we're not watching it anymore, because it's over, it's slowly going away. So I do apologize if my terminology is totally off. Anyway, so yes, moving on. So I'm from Houston, my parents live in Houston, my husband's from Houston, his parents live in Houston, everybody's from Houston. And so they have a baseball team called the Astros, and they were in the World Series, and nobody thought that they could do it, but they won, and it was so amazing. And so it's been so incredible, and also kind of emotional just because it's just so happy, and especially after Harvey, and so much. Houston needed that win so badly, and they deserved it so much. And so they won, and now we're all wearing our Astros Houston World Series gear. So my shirt says Houston with a S highlighted because I think that's super cool. And then it says the champions. It's got the logo on the bottom, and like, how cool is that? Like I said, I'm not normally a sports person, but this was a special occasion. This is a special deal, so. And I can be a part of it, so it's a lot of fun. It also gave me a lot of good knitting time while the baseball games were being played, so I can thank the Astros for that as well. The games were very entertaining. If you're a Dodgers fan, I do apologize, but yeah, ultimately it's just baseball, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, now you know what my shirt stands for. I am a because I don't know everything about them, but I am an Astros fan. I do support the Astros. I'm so happy that they won the World Series. And yeah, so that's another bit of random information that is not relevant to the podcast normally. But this is a little bit different because I've been gone for a week and we just need to get back into the swing of things, so I do apologize. Moving along to normal stuff. So while I was gone, I did get a lot of knitting done over the weekend that we were gone, and then this past week. One quick bit of information before I continue on. These coming weeks will be very light on the knitting content, so I'm not sure how the podcast is going to go. There's just a lot of stuff up in the air right now, and it's all good stuff. It's definitely good stuff, but we are going to become busier than we ever expected to be, so I don't know. I might take a couple weeks off just so we can like survive as sane people so we don't go crazy, but that is still like an idea. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, for right now, I do have a lot to talk about. Excuse me. We have a lot to talk about. So let's just dive in, shall we? Got to take a coffee break. Coffee break. So there's two new things. One of them is not knitting. Ooh, what is that, you might think? But we'll save that for last because that's pretty fun. So we'll start with old things. Old thing number one being, excuse me while I lean down on the frame, my fade. And I actually didn't work on this at all while I was gone. I worked on this mostly yesterday, but that's okay. You know, I got a lot of progress done, so it's okay. Don't judge me. Progress is progress no matter when you do it. It would still be progress if I did it right before we recorded. So, yay. Anyway, so this is my Find Your Fade. I am on, let's see, how many colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on color 5 out of, 7? No, I have more than that. I actually don't know where that bag is. I think it's in our living room right now, but I need to wind up my second, or my next color, I should say, because I'm just now starting the lace section of this section. Dum bum bum. And if you would remember, if you've seen previous episodes where I have discussed my fade woes, you'd remember that I was not knitting with full skeins of yarn for my previous color sections. And because of that, I was severely below the yardage that I needed, and so I could not get as many repeats as I needed. I didn't even come close to the repeats that I needed. So I'm knitting with a full ball of yarn now, which is very exciting. So I got the garter stitch section out of the way, no problem. I've done the first row or something of the lace part, and I still have this much left. So I am golden. I am so glad not to have to be worrying about this now. Also, I love knitting with this color, which is my own yarn, by the way. I am not one to toot my own horn, but I do really like this color, and I love how it's knitting up. So this is wonderful. I'm gonna set that right there. Anyway, whew, haven't done this for a week, and now I'm getting out of breath. It's amazing how not doing it for 1 week you can be so out of practice. Anyway, okay, so yes, I don't know what I'm trying to show you here, but I've done the garter. I've done 1 or 2 rows of this lace up here. I think what I'm gonna do, oh, I remember what I was talking about. I completely lost my train of thought. So this row section, I think I only did like 1.5, if that. And you're supposed to have like that much. And I didn't do nearly that much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do extra in this section because I do have more yarn to compensate for the fact that I did not do as many lace repeats in the other section. So I don't know if that makes sense. That makes sense to me. So I'm going to do that. If it doesn't work, I'll just rip it back. As sad as that may be, but I don't want to like take away from the size of it just because I didn't have enough yarn. So it works out. And then also I'll still have enough for the fade part, and I'll still have enough for the little garter bit after the lace, and so it'll all be good. And then I can move on into bigger and better skeins of yarn, and then I can finish it, and then I can wear it, and won't we all be very happy? So yes. See, like, look how beautiful this fade is right here. Right here. How beautiful is that? See, that was because I had a full skein of yarn. And then if you move along, oh, not quite that far, see? There's only like 1 row there, and then there's only 1 row on this side because I didn't have enough yarn because I am dumb. But it's purely my own fault. I have no one to blame except for me. So I am just dealing with the consequences, and I'm gonna make it work. We're gonna have a Tim Gunn moment. Excuse me. Are you watching Project Runway this season? Because I am, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We haven't seen the most recent episode, which was last night on Thursday. So we usually watch it on Friday night because of like, we don't have cable, so we watch it on the website or whatever. I don't know, it's complicated. We don't watch it the night that it comes out, so we have to wait and be careful of spoilers because that's a thing. Also with the World Series, that got put on hold, and so it was, but we're all caught up now, so that's good. We're ready to see who gets to show at Fashion Week. Everyone has gotten sent home to make their little collections at home, and we haven't seen that episode. That's the one we're hopefully gonna watch tonight, and I am so excited. I really want, if you're watching, you'll know these people, but if you are not watching, I do apologize. This will be very quick, but I either hope Brandon or Kentaro or Kenya wins. They are my favorite by far. I hope they're the 3 that show. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you never know. I've seen some things, I've seen pictures of people's collections online from last night, and in my opinion, granted I am very biased towards Kenya, in my opinion, the little bit that I saw was like super amazing and definitely deserves to show at Fashion Week. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just like, oh. So yes, we're just gonna have to wait and see, and we're gonna just have to wait and see. So anyway, sorry for that little tangent. That has nothing to do with knitting again. I do apologize. But now we'll go back to the knitting and it'll all be okay. So I was having a make it work moment. That's what made me think of it. So yes. Find Your Fade. This is by Andrea Mowry. This is a pattern that took the internet by storm. It is a wonderful pattern. It is so much fun. Would I make it again? At this point, I don't know. I said at one point that I would never make it again, but I feel like at this moment I might. So, I don't know. I think it'd be really pretty to have like a cream one that fades from like a light gray to various grays to black, and maybe to like a navy. Ooh, I don't know. So many possibilities. And like I've said before, fading stuff stresses me out just because of like picking colors and like trying to make sure they work together. But the idea of maybe having one that fades to that sounds, maybe with like a pop of like neon at the end. Oh, that sounds so pretty. We'll have to think about that. First I have to finish my first one, and then I have to finish all the other things I'm working on. So let's just put that idea on the back burner for now. So yeah, this is what I'm working, or what I worked on yesterday. It's good reading knitting, except for the lace bit, but that's okay. It'll be fine, unless you're a pro at lace knitting. But yes, I have a project page that I believe I have my yarns on. So I'll link that in the show notes so you can go and see what my yarns are. So fun times indeed. Second old project that I did work on in the car on the way to Houston last week because we were driving in the dark. Because we had to leave after my husband got home from work, which hence the dark knitting, because it does get very dark now, very early on. This is my Sucker Punch cowl. I did finish the beautiful color work. It is gorgeous. Like, look at that. Is that not amazing? The wonders of Noro. It is absolutely beautiful. And then I started knitting this plain section because it is, there was a provisional cast on, and then I'll be like doing some flippies and then attaching things, and it'll all be good. I don't remember how long I'm supposed to knit this section, but I only have this much yarn left, so we're just gonna knit until I have enough to do the connecting of the provisional cast on, and it'll be fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. I feel like because the color work is like such a big part of it, I felt like I needed to make sure I had all the repeats done, but since this part is very boring, maybe, I don't know, or it's very simple. It's not boring, it's very simple. I don't feel as like, not pressured, but I don't feel like the necessity of it. I don't feel required? What am I trying to say? I don't feel like the need to make sure I get the length because I know it'll be just fine. If anything, it'll just be a little bit shorter. I should probably fold it up and see what it looks like, and then I should figure that out because I know that will be a big determinant, in which case I will find something else. I don't think I have any more of this laying around, but I do have other Cascade Eco Wools laying around in different colors, which might be interesting. We can make it work. This is turning out to be a very scrappy cowl. It's all stash, all very old stash, which is amazing. This here is this part from this little bit down is one ball of Noro Curion, and then this to this point here is a different ball of Noro Curion. But I thought because of this blue down here, I thought it was okay to throw in the blue skein, and I think it's super cool. I think it's awesome. I love it. I'm so excited about it. So yes, this is a Sucker Bunch cowl by Jess Knowles, I believe. It is a wonderful pattern. It is a super great pattern if you want to learn how to do color work for the first time. It's very easy. It's done in the round. It's so simple. And then you cover everything up with a provisional cast on, so nothing snags. None of your floats, oh, wrong way. None of your floats snag, because this is what the inside looks like. Which I think, again, not to toot my own horn, but I did a great job with that. Like, look how nice that looks. I'm very happy with my floats. So yes, this is a great pattern if you want to learn how to do color work, if you've never done it for the first time. Highly recommend it. Or if you're just looking for a chunky cowl, because that's what it's going to end up being. I'm very excited to give this a bath because both of these yarns soften up a lot when you give it a bath. So I'm very excited, but it's also like very, like, it can stand up by itself, so it's very dense. It's very, very dense, and I love that. I love that. I love that. Will I have a lot of opportunities to wear it? Will it ever be like that cold to need it all the time? Probably not. But the couple days that I can wear it, I will love it so much. Because it's gorgeous. And this is the type of thing, in my opinion, another side rant. I do apologize. This is just full of rants today. This is the type of thing that you could look at and be like, did you get that from Anthropologie? That looks so amazing. And people could be like, yes, it was $150 and I love it. It was expensive, but it's also from Anthropologie. And it's like, wait, hold on. I can make that with stash yarn, which I already bought. So technically it was free, but also not. The pattern, it is a paid for pattern, so it wasn't free, but anyway. So that's just my personal opinion. I love knits like this, that it looks like, I also do apologize, I'm looking at myself in the viewfinder, but it looks like something you could buy from Anthropologie, and I love those kinds of knits because it's very rewarding when someone's like, where did you get that? Did you get that from Anthropologie? And it's like, well, I know. I made it myself. I made it with my own two hands. And they're like, what? And then you can astound them. And it's just such a nice feeling because it's like, I made this. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I definitely feel that way. I love that feeling. It's very satisfying. So yes, anyway, back to the point. Sucker Punch Cowl by Jess Knowles. I use Noro. I use Cascade Eco Wool over here for the base color. Great pattern. Would recommend. Would definitely knit again. Highly, highly recommend. So this is a new cast on. So excited about this. That was a very strange face. I do apologize. This is a new cast on. If you saw some of the most recent episodes, maybe the last two episodes, I was talking about a cast on, a new knit along that I'm going to do with my mom. We had ordered the yarn. It was so exciting. It is the Branches and Buds pullover by Carrie Bostic Hodge. I've been saying Hodge, but I think I heard it was pronounced Hodge, so I do apologize. Carrie Bostic Hodge. I believe it was a Quince & Company pattern, or it was designed with that yarn anyway. And so this is in an Old Navy bag. Fun times. My mom got this for something. I don't remember why. Anyway, she had this Old Navy bag, and so this is my Branches and Buds knit along bag for my project. I'm just now saying words that don't necessarily make sense together, so yes. Also, there is another knit along. In the past two previous episodes, I also mentioned that we were inspired by a version of this pullover in particular. Her username is Along avec Anna, I believe. She has a blog. It's written in French, but you can also read it in English. It's super cool. She did one that was white, the base was white, and the branches and stuff were like bright pink. And so we went with like a not a duller version, but like a more toned down version, I guess. Just because we wouldn't wear white as often, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so with her blog or with her Ravelry group or whatever, she also has a podcast. With all of her stuff, she is doing a Nordic knit-along or a Fair Owl knit-along or something like that. So I'm joining in with that, and I think my mom is too. I think I've done my post, but I'll link her group with all that information in the show notes as well. So if you want to go and join, you can read up all about it in her group. She's got all the information, all the rules, and all the hashtags and stuff. So it's awesome. When we were in Houston last weekend, my mom and I both did our little swatchies and we cast on together. And it was amazing. And oh my goodness. And now you're probably like, just show us the sweater because you've talked about it long enough. And I'm not going to show it to you. I'm so excited about this. Oh my goodness. Okay, now it's all tangled up and now it's going to take forever for me to show it to you. Okay. Now I'm just talking to myself. I do apologize. So this is what I have so far. This is a top-down sweater. So you have a yoke. This is where it's going to be. It won't be like this particularly, but this is where I started. And so I'm going downwards. Look at that color work. Is that not so amazing? I'm just so happy with how that has been turning out. So this is what I have so far. I'm almost done with the third and final repeat of this little motif thing. And yes, it's knitting up so well, and it's very fun to knit. I have made several mistakes already, but that's okay because I was able to fix them, so it's fine. I am really enjoying it. I don't think I've ever knit a sweater like this that has like a color work yoke that you knit from the top down. So I'm very excited about this. It is so soft. Let me get my two colorways with their ball. Oh, I guess that one doesn't have the ball band. Anyway, I'm using Drops Flora, which I believe you're on group A. This is 65% wool, 35% alpaca, so it's got beautiful drape. It's very soft. It's not itchy. This is light gray, and then this is the other color that we have. And it's a little more muted than it's showing up on the camera, but yes. I was very much like, I'm going to knit a swatch. I have to knit a swatch, especially considering my previous sweater problems. I think I have my swatch in here. Is my swatch in here somewhere? There's my swatch. I definitely did one. You'll just have to believe me. I don't know where it is. That's crazy. I lost my swatch. Anyway, I did a swatch. I got gauge. I fiddled around with the needle size. I went up, I went down. I checked everything because, goodness gracious, I want to get this sweater perfect. Size-wise, anyway. So I know that I messed up on the color work, but I fixed it, so it's all okay. And nobody will ever know, except for me and those people that I pointed out to. But even then, will you even be able to notice? I don't think so, because I fixed it. Anyway, so size-wise, I just wanted to get this just right. I want to love this sweater. I want to be able to snuggle up in this sweater. It'd be cool if I could wear it for Christmas. That'd be awesome. So, yes, this is the Branches and Bud pullover by Carrie Bostic Hoge. And yes, once I get done with the color work thing, it's just gray for days on days on days on days on days. So I feel like this will become my new reading project because it's gonna be stocking it in the round for oodles and oodles of time. So there's nothing wrong with that. I love a good reading project. Love those. When it comes to the sleeves, I'm getting ready to sneeze. Apologies, my allergies are so bad and I keep needing to sneeze. Ah, that's the worst. It's all these crazy weather changes going on. Okay, let's see if I can get through this without sneezing again. Okay, so I mentioned the sleeves right before I sneezed 5 times. What was I going to say? Oh yes, on the sleeves, so in the pattern, there's no like decorative stuff around the wrists, but I have seen many a version that has either like stripes around the sleeve, or it has another one of these like little leafy things around the sleeve. And so I think I might do that just because I really like the look of it, and I think it'll tie it all together nicely. But we will see how I am feeling when we get there. I also really like the look without them, so who knows what I'll do. The sleeves are very far ahead in the future. They're not happening anytime soon because I haven't even finished the yoke yet. So I'm excited. I think it'll be wonderful. I'm very excited to be doing this with my mom. We'll have matching ones. And yeah, it's just such a fun knit. Highly recommend. I think this is also a very popular knit for this Nordic knit along. As well, I've seen a lot of people who have cast this on for this knit along. So that's super fun. I am not the only one knitting this. There are lots of people, so that's super fun. I'm really enjoying it. I highly recommend if you want to try your hand at like a top-down yoke colorwork sweater. This is a very easy one to begin with. Again, would recommend. Would definitely make another one. So it's very easy to follow, very simple. You do all the hard stuff at the beginning and then you're done. And then it's just easiness afterwards. So super, super awesome. So I mentioned earlier that I have a work in progress that is not knitting. And you might be like, oh yes, you're just crocheting again, blah, 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 we've heard it before. It's not crocheting either. It's actually not any kind of knitting, crocheting type thing at all. And you're probably like, what are you doing? Are you beading? Are you making friendship bracelets? I don't know. I'm not doing either one of those things, although both of them sound like a lot of fun. Excuse me, I want to take a coffee break because this is a delicious drink and I enjoy it. So, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, Christmas knitting, Christmas crafting is definitely a thing. And at this point, we are almost halfway through November. And where am I in my crafting? Nowhere near to being done. I have not finished anything. Well, except I finished one thing. But it doesn't seem like very much because it's very small. Most of these things I have just put off on casting on. Most of them will be knitted. But there is one thing in particular that I'm working on. I don't think this person watches the podcast or is, I don't know. So I'm going to show you what I have now, just in case this person is watching. I'm going to show you what I have, and I will continue to show you until it becomes very obvious as to what it is, and then I will just keep you updated in what I've been doing. Anyway, you're probably like, again, stop talking about it and just show it to us. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably know what this is. I'm cross-stitching. Woohoo! So much fun. You're probably like, what is this little blob? It's actually going to be a flower. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to look at it through the cloth, I guess. That looks good. So yeah, you can kind of tell it's a flower with a lot of really funky shading. It's super great. Have I messed up? A lot. Have I tried to fix it? Yes. I think it's pretty successful. Ultimately, you're just going to be filling it in with like various shades of pink, so it's all good. So yes, I've been working on this for maybe ultimately 4 or 5 days probably. It's going super well. This is not the first time that I've cross-stitched, I guess. I did a lot when I was in middle school and like beginning high school. I would do like bookmarks and stuff. I did something for my dad that we got framed for Christmas. This is not my first cross-stitching rodeo, if you will. So I'm really enjoying doing it again. I haven't done it forever. I am now completely blanking on the name of the person who designed this pattern, but I will link her Etsy shop. She's got a lot of really, really cute things. I think a lot of them were very much like Disney themed, but not all of them were. So I'll link her Etsy shop in the show notes, so don't worry if you want to go check them out. They are super awesome. I'm enjoying it. Got all my stuff at Michael's. I keep all my embroidery thread in this fun pouchy thing, along with some scissors and my little needle packet or whatever. I have all my thread. So yes, it's very handy just to tote around, and yes, it's going very well. I don't know if it's just because I'm very slow. It's probably because I'm very slow, but I did forget how time consuming this is. So we'll see how it goes for Christmas. Also because I have to knit a bunch of other things. So, but again, that is completely my fault. That's nothing on the things that I've picked or anything like that. So we're going out of town again this weekend. So I'm planning on bringing only one fun thing to knit upon, or I have a text message. Fun things for like that are for me personally, non-Christmas items. I'll be bringing mostly Christmas items to knit upon because this weekend involves football, and that'll probably be a good time to knit and get good progress in. I don't know, I'm feeling a little worried about my crafting at this point, just because with the plans that we have for the next couple of weeks are just gonna be crazy, and I know that's very, very vague, but once we figure a little bit more out, I will let you guys know what's going on. Again, all good things, all good things. But yeah, just for right now, it's just like, okay, this is happening. This is happening, Christmas is happening, Christmas crafting needs to happen, it's not happening, but it needs to happen, and then it's like, okay, well, there's also podcast content, and it's like, well, okay, oh, how do I do that? So, we'll figure it out. Apologies for the coming weeks if I am very scattered, or if there's not an episode, or if there's no content whatsoever. I'm going to do my hardest. I will continue to do this when I'm able, but I'm just giving you guys a heads up that the next couple of weeks there might not be as many podcasts, but I'm not leaving by any means. This will not stop. But if I'm gone for a while, that is why. But again, very vague. I'll tell you eventually, so don't worry about it. So yes, a cross-stitching thing happened. There will be more Christmas knitting that needs to happen, as I have talked about for the last seemingly 10 minutes, but I don't know how long it's actually been. That kind of stuff I will be able to show you, just because those people don't watch the podcast, and I know that for a fact. So that's good. So yes, I think knitting-wise, of course, there's things that have been published recently that I want to knit so badly, but that is just not possible right now, just because there's so many things that I want to knit, so many other things that I need to knit, and things that need to be crafted, and then other things that are going on, and it's like, oh, okay, calm down. The time will come, the time will come, it'll be fine. Baking-wise, I haven't done very much, again, because things have been really crazy and just all over the place. So baking hasn't been very productive or busy or whatever. There's something that I'm going to make after I record, that is called, I don't remember what it's called. It's praline something. But it's from one of my favorite food blogger ladies. It's like graham crackers. I know it's a very simple thing. I know some people use saltines and graham crackers, but this is graham crackers, and you put like butter and brown sugar and you melt that all together, and then you pour it over the the top of the graham crackers and you add pecans and then you bake it, and then it's just like really tasty and delicious and kind of like toffee. Or not toffee, but it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean. It's delicious. It's very good. After I'm done recording and while the podcast exports and all that kind of stuff, or uploads or whatever the term is, so that's exciting. That's it on the baking front. Reading wise, again, nothing really that exciting. Nothing that I feel that's like groundbreaking. I've read a couple fluffy things, but they're not super exciting. If you follow me on Goodreads, you'll see my updates and stuff. But I am trying to keep on pushing forward my book goal of the year. I think I started off at like 25 or 30 books, and now I'm almost to 50, which I am like super proud of. I think that's awesome. I'm very proud of myself. Again, not to toot my own horn, but I'm very proud of myself. So that's really great. Gonna continue with the reading stuff and see how many books I can read before the year ends. And we'll see how that goes. And of course, I'll just keep you guys updated with what I'm reading and if it's good enough that I feel like I should talk about it or share it with you guys. And if I don't, of course, you can go and follow me. We can be friends on Goodreads and you can see what I'm reading and what's on my lists and all that kind of stuff, because Goodreads is awesome. And if you don't have one, I highly recommend it because it's like Ravelry and Facebook for book lovers. So it's awesome. So I think that is it for this week's podcast. I don't know what the length will be, but it might be kind of long. So hopefully that makes up for the fact that I didn't have one last week. I don't know about next week. I don't know about the week after that or whatever, because it's Thanksgiving and all that jazz. We'll figure it out. I will do my best. Or I might do a vloggy type thing that's not a podcast and maybe make that work. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. I won't worry about it. It's all gonna be okay. It'll be fine. So that's it for this episode. Hopefully there'll be one next week. Hopefully with more content. Hopefully with more Christmas crafting content. That definitely needs to happen. So just to review all the basic things that I talked about at the beginning. All the things that I talked about will be linked on my blog. If you're on YouTube, my blog will be linked down below. You can go find those things there. I have lots of social medias you can follow me on. There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I am most active on Instagram by far, also kind of on Twitter. I retweet funny things like pictures of cats in sweaters. And if you're interested in that, you can go follow me over there. But I'm most active on Instagram because that's where I post my pictures. And I comment and all that jazz, so that's fun. There's also a Ravelry podcast group that you can go and join that I'm terrible at posting in, but you can go and join anyway. If you go to Ravelry and click on the groups tab and search the Cat Knit Podcast, it will show up. There's also an online yarn store where you can buy some yarn that I've hand dyed, and that is the catknityarns.bigcartel.com. Both those things will be linked in the show notes as well, so don't worry if there's a clickable link for you to go and enjoy those things. So yes. Cold. It is cold. It's been cold. It's been amazing. We've had all the windows and doors open, and oh my goodness, it's so good. I love it so much, and it's just gonna continue to be cold and glorious and knitwear worthy weather. Knitwear worthy weather. Alliteration a little bit anyway. Irrelevant. I hope that you are enjoying your hand knit weather wherever you are, if it's cold where you are. If it's not cold where you are, I hope you're enjoying the warm weather. I'm glad that it's not warm here anymore though, because that would have been very sad. We do have a couple more warm days, but warm compared to our summer is going to be, this coming warm is nothing compared to the summer. That was very badly said. What am I trying to say? The couple days coming compared to what our summer was will not be nearly as bad. It's like mid 70s. Whereas our summers were like above 100. So like it's really not that bad. I shouldn't be complaining. So that's super great. That is it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have not subscribed to me on YouTube, you should go and subscribe. You should like the video. If you liked it, that would be wonderful. Share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it. All those various things. And I hope you've had a wonderful week. I hope you continue to have a wonderful weekend. If you have crafty plans, I hope they are successful. I hope you're knitting, you're Christmas crafting, whether it's knitting or crocheting or cross stitching or whatever, friendship bracelet making, because that's a thing. Whatever you're doing, if it's Christmas crafting, I hope you are much more farther along than I am, because I am not very far along. So we'll have to fix that. I hope you're not worried about getting everything done for Christmas. So I think that is it for this weekend, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye!